As soon as the Mercedes stopped under Starlight Hall's portico, Aisha drew in a slight breath, the kind of breath she felt she was taking for the first time in her life, with strength and certainty. The guards who had earlier shoved her mercilessly into the car were now standing perfectly straight, but the arrogance in their eyes was gone, replaced by a strange confusion. Naeem Chacha quietly said, "Daughter, you go straight inside. I'll explain the situation to the guards." Aisha simply nodded and opened the door to step out. The cold breeze soothed her throat, which had been burning from grief, but what now burned inside her heart wasn't restlessness. It was the fire of revenge, the kind that truly changes a person's whole face. She walked toward the entrance. A guard immediately stepped forward. "Ma'am, we have orders that—" But Naeem Chacha's cold glance cut his sentence in half. "She is now your owner. Make way." The guard stood upright at once. "Sorry, ma'am." For the first time, Aisha felt what respect truly was. And she also realized that respect is never given. It is taken. When she reached the heavy wooden doors of the hall, the noise inside, laughter, music, spilled out like salt being rubbed into a wound. Just an hour ago, this place had been the arena of her humiliation. Now, it was where her court was about to be held. Aisha pushed the door open, and in that moment, the entire atmosphere of the hall froze. The chandelier lights hit her eyes like a spotlight, marking her as the center of the stage. First whispers, then a long gasp, and then complete silence. Everyone looked at her, and everything stopped. Danielle, who had been trying to impress an investor, suddenly looked at her with growing unease. His face went from red to pale blue, and then he put on a fake bravado, like a cat cornered. "What are you doing here? I told you to sit in the car. Go from here. Go!" His voice echoed in the hall, but Aisha didn't stop at all. She walked toward the stage steps, as if someone was moving her with a remote. Every step was so steady that even the women in expensive designer gowns stared at her in disbelief. Begum Nahida suddenly laughed mockingly. "Oh, God, she's back again. Someone throw her outside." But Aisha didn't look at her even once. She walked straight to the microphone, picked it up, and, with a piercing calmness, said, "Good evening. I want to make an announcement." The words were simple, plain, but the hall had never been this silent. Danielle laughed loudly. "Stop the drama, Aisha. Down from the stage, right now." But Aisha's eyes didn't hold the face she always had, not the wounded, scared, oppressed girl. She stood like a queen about to deliver a verdict over an empire. "Danielle," Aisha said with a faint smile, "your job is over." The entire hall was stunned. People leaned toward one another, whispering. Danielle's laughter died. "What? Who are you to fire me? You are—" Aisha brought courage and authority together and said into the microphone, "I am the sole owner of Sheikhpur Infrastructure Group." For a moment, even the air seemed to stop. Those who used to look at her as if she was inferior now stared at her as though a harsh truth had just been revealed for the first time in their lives. Investors started whispering in panic. Some women who used to stifle laughs at her earlier now had fear written on their faces, because in business circles, power is everything. Danielle shouted, "This is bullshit! She's lying! Security, get her!" But the security did not move toward her. They walked straight to stand beside Aisha instead. "Ma'am, your orders?" one of them asked in a steady, professional tone. Aisha nodded. "Keep him away from the stage." Danielle exploded like someone had thrown him into a furnace. "You're all fired!" he yelled, but the guards did not flinch. Begum Nahida went pale, gripping her chair as if realizing for the first time that the real power had never been with her son, not even once. Aisha calmly said into the microphone, "For 10 years, company funds were misused, nepotism was rampant, and staff were left unpaid. All of these were violations of Danielle's contract. His CEO contract ends tonight. His access has been revoked from everywhere. An investor, Mr. Hyder, asked in a stunned voice, Aisha, owner? How? Aisha called Naeem Chacha from the corner. He came toward the stage and handed her a brown folder in full public view. Aisha opened it and said, "These are the registered ownership documents, signed, sealed, and notarized." Now everyone believed it. Danielle's world shattered in a second. He stumbled toward Aisha, but the guards held him back. "Aisha, this must be a joke, right? You can't do this. You're my wife." For the first time, Aisha looked at him directly, straight, without fear, without lowering her eyes. Wife? Like those wives you lock in cars? Like those people you humiliate publicly? No, Danielle, tonight it's not your wife speaking, it's your boss. The hall let out a collective stunned gasp. Begum Nahida almost fainted. Danielle broke down, practically collapsing. "Aisha, please, I'm sorry. You don't understand. I was under pressure." Aisha turned off the microphone, but the hall could still hear every word. "Under pressure, you hit people, humiliate them, lock me in a car like an animal? Did you think I was your property? Danielle, remember one thing. You have given me only one thing." Through his trembling voice, he asked, "What?" Aisha looked straight into his eyes and replied, "Revenge." And in that moment, the whole atmosphere of the hall shifted. The center of the scene was no longer Danielle. It was Aisha. People who had followed Danielle only for his shiny packaging now looked at him with disgust. Aisha calmly announced, "The banquet is over. Everyone please leave the hall. This event was arranged illegally with company funds. I am personally reimbursing the cost, but from today onwards, no member of the Thorne family will use my name." The investors left immediately, because in business, no one stays with a sinking ship's captain. The waiters, who had not been paid for 3 months, came to Aisha and blessed her. The peace on their faces was worth more to her than any medal. Danielle stood there trembling, completely alone. Begum Nahida was shaking in both anger and shock. Aisha stepped down and walked toward the exit. Danielle tried to run after her. The guard stopped him. "Let her go," one guard said coldly. "Now she decides." Aisha walked out of the hall. That night, she realized that the true taste of revenge isn't sweet. It's cold, just like the ice in her eyes. And this was only the beginning.